How y'all doing today? My name is Kaze. So, I was having this talk with, I was having this talk with some folks that I trust. And I was watching um, some things. I was having conversations yeah, with my partners. And, you know, the thing that makes us so tight is that we have a lot of similarities other than just being black, other than us both being black, other than all of us being black. We have similar interests, similar experiences growing up, maybe similar injustices, or, you know, things of that nature. We've had like all types of stuff, but one thing that's in common is none of us are stereotypical black men. And that's an issue that plagues our community is, you know, years and years it's been preached and people are still running the hamster wheel of having to be a certain way because that's what's popular and because that's what's expected and only accepted. You know, meanwhile, all along, you're not even that type of person. And it doesn't make sense. Like, when people tell you, to, to, like, you're trying to be black, it doesn't make sense. How could you try to be something that you already are? Something that you were born with since birth, since you were out the womb. Because you were born to black parents, so you're automatically a black man, a black woman. So you can't try to be something that you inherited, or you can't try to be something that was passed down to you by your parents and it was passed down by their parents. You can't try to be something that you already are. You can't pretend to be I can't pretend to be black. I am black. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if people don't like how I act, as long as as long as I don't show hatred towards my own community, or as long as I don't show that I dislike my own community. That's where it becomes an issue. If you act a certain way that people already, if you already don't act the stereotypical way, and you don't like your own community, you're essentially saying that you don't that you don't like yourself, you don't love yourself, you hate yourself for being who you are. And at the end of the day, you can't fight the fact that you were born with the skin color that you were born with. People could try to change their skin color, which is stupid. Why change the perfect imperfection that God made you as? Why try to change something that was perfectly made for you? Why try to be something that you're not, when at the end of the day, you have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, is this really who I am? Or is this really what I want out of life? Is this really something that fits my values? And you have to ask how far you're willing to go to not be yourself. Like, that seems so much harder than actually being yourself. It seems so much harder it may seem easy on the surface, but mentally and inside, you know deep down that you're fighting who you are. You're fighting the person that you know that you are, but you're trying to show something different. It doesn't match who you are. It doesn't match you. It doesn't fit. But because the people around you want to have you be something that you're not, you decide to be popular, to fit in, to appease everybody else. You decide that you're going to be what the stereotypical version of your skin color, or you're going to decide to be like them. And that becomes a problem, because if we only want people that are like us, how are we growing? It's the same thing, round and round and round. You're not growing. If you're always talking to people that are just like you, your perspective does not grow. If you're only around the stereotypical black person, if you're trying to be a stereotypical black person and you're around stereotypical black people, that's all you're going to be. And you're not going to grow to be anything else but that. That's it. But if you want to grow to be something different, if we want to evolve and get better, you have to be, accepting of other people. You have to be accepting of, in our own community, we have to be accepting of people who act differently than us, who don't act like the stereotypical version of what we are, who don't act as if they constantly have to fight somebody, or they act like some way that the world already tries to depict us as. If that's all we're supposed to be, then like what? I mean, what's the point at that point? Like, what's the point? Like, you really have to just, when it all comes down to it, you have to be willing to be yourself to the fullest, regardless of what people think about you. If you like video games, you like anime, if you like skateboarding, if you don't necessarily like sports or whatever, if you don't like the stereotypical black stuff, if you don't like watermelon or fried chicken, blah blah blah, all the cliche stereotypes, but that's the little stuff. But if you don't like the stereotypically black stuff, or you've had the stereotypical black experiences, or you watch the stereotypical black movies, it's always the same stuff. It's always the same stories. If you don't like that stuff, that's fine. You don't have to. But it doesn't make you less black if you don't. It doesn't make you more black if you do. Like, doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But that's where we're at, and we've been at that for years. We've been at that for years. We already have targets on our back already, and we don't make it any better by putting each other down and by putting targets on our own. Like, we got our own issues. We got issues with with other people, but then we also got issues with ourselves and within each other, within our own group. So At the end of the day, these issues are in every race. So it's really about just being yourself. Being yourself. I don't want to give the being a black man in America, blah, blah, blah. Like, stating the obvious. We're in America. I'm a black man, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to give the overly cliched, statements and stuff like that. But just be yourself. If you like a certain thing that is not associated with blackness, that's okay. It doesn't make you less black. That's it. That's it. And it seems like we have these conversations so many times. We have these conversations so many times. And there's action. There's action. There was action, these past few years. And even before that, we're gonna progress. I have hope for this community. We're going to progress and progress and progress. We're not gonna stay stagnant. I hope. As for me, I'm not gonna let this skin define me, and I'm not gonna let other people tell me what I can act like, who I can be and who I can't be. I'm not gonna let people's limiting beliefs of me stop me from being who I know I am. Like, I'm not gonna let that happen, because these same people that have these views of me, they're not there with me when I'm struggling. They're not there with me when I have to deal with stuff, when I'm low, when I'm down, when I'm sad, when I have to look at myself in the mirror to see if I'm really being true to myself or if I'm just deciding to appease them. They're not there. They don't give a rat's what they don't care. They don't care at the end of it. They don't care. All they care about is if they see me acting as though, what society wants me to act like. If I'm not acting like that, then they see me a certain way. But at the end of it, I really don't care how they view me, because what they think is impossible for them might not be impossible for me. And I'm not letting it define who I am. Regardless of what I'm going through, I'm not letting it define who I am. And if people have a problem with that, I don't really care. As long as the people that I love and care about know who I am and know what I'm about and know what I want out of life and know what I'm trying to do, believe in me, I don't care about anybody else. As long as those people know me and know what I'm about. So, at the end of the day, just be you. Just be you. And the people that are really down with you, they'll be around and they'll join in with you. Please don't get lost in the shuffle. Please don't get lost in the shuffle, because once you're in it, once you're in too deep, it's really tough to get out. Alright, so I got a poem that I'm putting up with this. Yeah. Peace. Man, stuff to say. I talked y'all. I talked y'all ear off because I just had to get it off my chest. So, peace. I refuse to limit myself to your beliefs and what you think is possible for me to achieve. Just because you were lied to and deceived doesn't mean I can't enjoy my life and grieve. I know what I'm capable of. I'm only worried about the people I care about and love. The path may fit you like a glove, but mine leads to a better life because mediocre isn't enough.